So this is part 1 on this video, and this is a phenomenon that often occurs. You see the little kid walking by, right? This is a phenomenon we see. This is a phenomenon that everybody always has an encounter with. And this is the final destination of life, right? This final destination of life. Meaning, anytime you see, and I know you seen the other little kid run by, sometimes he's in blue. The reason why I bring this up is because it's corporeal and incorporeal. So you go look up those definitions. So that kid and those kids died in the water. They drowned. However, they were supposed to die via car or vehicle accident. And now, since your dean is already written and wrote, their demise is constantly playing in our dimension. So go look up the definitions of corporeal and incorporeal. So that goes hand in hand also with the subconscious and the conscious mind. So I'll bring that up because it's like a dimension, because as you can see, the spirit is still alive and it's always moving in the same direction. Don't you notice that the spirits they don't jump. They don't like jump in motion or dunk in a basketball. They always run. And that's the best exercise for a heart. So you're only dead when your heart is gone. Cause you could still be a vegetable, meaning your brain dead. So therefore your conscious mind is gone. You can't take anything in, no information, can't learn anything, and you can't teach anything either and be productive. You're a vegetable, meaning your organs is useful. Your heart is still beating. That's why you're still important, because you're functional, the body wise. However, if your heart was gone, you're completely gone. So that's my point. In the subconscious mind, when you're a vegetable, you're still picking up on everybody and everything that's around you. So as you're engaging in a conversation and dialect with someone, and you have a double conversation with yourself and that other person, meaning you heard something and you thought it was kind of like futuristic, like Nostradamus, like you got your mail package. So as I'm on the phone with customer service for Xbox and I'm talking to the representative, I hear through the subconscious mind of mine, and being that the person I'm talking to has a subconscious mind that's processing his own or her own thoughts and what's ever going on in their life. So both our subconscious minds are being selfish and solo within each other. However, subconscious minds pick up on each other because of same situations. For example, we're talking on the phone. So as I'm talking on the phone and I'm taking in information as the representative is talking to me, but then I hear my mail is dropped off. So now I have a sensory to go check my mail. It's about that time anyway. Or maybe he dropped off a package, or she dropped off a package at my door and read my name as I'm talking to someone on the phone. That subconscious mind is processing because we're conscious. I'm taking in information, but I'm hearing my package is finally here in my own voice. So am I crazy? Paranoia, anxiety, the sixth sense. The little boy realized he was dead. Anxiety and paranoia often comes from not being in shape because your heart isn't what it used to. You haven't been using your legs. Now everything is making you paranoid, and it's like, oh, so when exactly are these people coming to hurt me? This the subconscious mind. If you were unconscious, the subconscious would still be processing, but the conscious mind, you wouldn't be woke. And that's where they lied to us in psychology in high school. When they were teaching us about the brain, they tried to make it seem like the left brain is just categories of what we see, and the right brain is the processor, like the wheel. So everything generates together, and then we become one because of thought, which is right, but you're not talking about what we hear and feel and go through in the inside, which relates to the subconscious mind in a word called degree. All right? Now, the word degree is huge because it relates to religion and education, intuition, magic, and weather, because that's what it is. A dragon blew fire. It's a type of wind. The actual motion, the actual move, the actual striking of blowing fire requires the velocity, which is degree. So if I blow fire, I blow acid, I blow electricity, raining fire, raining water, snowing is different. It rains fire. How can it rain fire? By coming from above. So when an electrocution or bolt hits something that's really high, like a high tree, and then the fire is sparked, and then all of a sudden the fire starts coming down towards the smaller trees. Or if the bolt hits the electric line first, bow, and then the fire sparks. It rains fire. How can it rain acid? Does it rain acid? Actual rain is water. Okay, so when it's frozen, snow. So what's the acid part? It's when it's trans rain. Trans rain meaning when it's metal, and after the rain stains glass and metal objects, you could take something, the dirt, you could take another metal object, and you can remove the dirt off windows and walls and cars, and you can remove the dirt with a magnet. Instead of wiping it with a rag, you put the magnet near the dirt, and then the dirt magnetizes to metal. That's acid rain, acidic rain, trans rain. So it's hitting human skin. Once it hits human skin and it penetrates human skin, trans acid just touched you. So now it penetrated your pores, it's in your blood system, mixing with what? What just came out the sky? Water. So they had the acid water with the trans chemical in it that's metal, like soft metal, and then when it's cold or hot or whatever takes place, it it forms into a solid metal, a solid chip. So now we have acidic rain hitting the skin, penetrating the pores, getting into the body fluids, especially the water. It's turning metal and into acidic, and it just mixed with the water in your body. So it either kills you because it drains the water from your body, right? Or it turns you different because you had enough water and you transformed, you trained, you turned, you trained, you changed, trans. Excuse me. You get it? So the transformation of this death makes you believe in the most high and the most exalted and most gracious, bro. It has to be that way. Because so now the activity that goes on, as you can see, what I say in my videos, what's going on? We have females constantly playing mirror, mirror on the wall. There's no mirrors in the insanity ward. Which community are you teaching it to? So don't just think about the acronyms of the community since you don't want to add the P. Okay. Look at these pagan witches that just summoned the little kids that were supposed to die in a car accident, that got the blessings from their family when they were little kids to have a lot of money and get older because it was really boring in the neighborhood and there was nobody here to make it poppin'. So we have this happening where we have families making their little kids grow up too quick and not really, use their money, drive their car to take their kid and be adventurous and meet people and try new things. They got the kid, they got a nice house, they got the money for him. They just teaching the kid just to be focused when the kid is watching TV, or he could look and see some other type of fun or enjoyment. Mistakenly dying in the water now. This is something that's constantly happening. This is what I'm saying. Is there a spirit in the water? Because there's a such thing as a shark phobia, which I had when I was a kid. You see where this is going? Water. So instead of this car accident, whether it was a hit and run or whether it was in the car or somebody crossing the street, some accidental, this pattern of death, when they connect it paranormally and it comes back, it looks like an athlete. Don't you see the running motion? It's never jumping because you can't jump underwater. It's always running. It's like swimming. That's equivalent to the fish. When the fish jump up, they come out like that. But they have the body for it. That's what their realm. That's their dimension. A human being, we just have the arm, legs, arm, head. We can't come out the water like a dolphin or whale or a shark and snatch something out like that. With that velocity and speed. That's what scares us. Because the actual fish is under the water. We cannot breathe under the water. And they're not that's not just only their terrain, but their actual heart and organs are working and operating. So when they come up and they breathe the air that we breathe, or they release, we feel it. It's not only a scary sight to see, you actually feel the animal breathe. Like the whale, when it pushes out the air, like you feel the animal breathe. That's called degree. So the paranormal activity of of a car into intercepting something that was, I guess, natural. Because think about the death. A vehicle is human made. Water is not human made. It doesn't rain vehicles. If it does and people is here and it's a flood, it's a wrap for us. Think about it. So therefore, if the creator made a specific death for you, you have to die that way, right? Because a car is man-made, so therefore if a car or a vehicle was never developed, we would have never had a vehicle death at all. People were dying if you didn't have enough water, like COVID, if you don't have enough water in your body to fight it off. And people are dying due to the flood of too much water, opposed to being strong enough to outlive COVID. However, the effects of the public of COVID and what it does to you in your psyche, you see, your brain, what it in your emotions, your feelings, what it did to you, how you live that way, your attitude, COVID. That's the simplicity of dying. You see the emotions. But now look, you have a man-made vehicle, which if a vehicle was never made, we would never die that way. But people were actually dying more over water, from water, into water, of water. Also, ratios, you see the statistics, and then it changed over time. It not only worsened the world, but you created a death. That's why it's called Final Destination. Swimming in water, athletics, being in boats in water, as opposed to being on land with a vehicle. I got vehicles for water. So that was another, or the first, you see, or the first category of death. A vehicle on water, then it's water on land, or a human that's lacking in water, sickness. Now you have a vehicle on land, brand new created, that made another branch of death. So if you look at Final Destination movies, your landing spot is always where it's going to be, because these kids died in the water. Camp. Think about Jason. These kids go missing. Remember, they say some people drop off the face of the earth. The universe is parallel. It doesn't intercept. So there is a such thing as degree. Blowing wind, blowing air, obtaining terrain, making an invisible person that you hate, and you can sit the person with you every single day, and then you use your mind and your emotions on that invisible character who really lives. Final Destination. Think about it. So shorty was supposed to die of a car accident because ain't nobody wanted to kill him or her. You see that? You understand what I'm hinting at? Okay, so if you don't understand, let me elaborate more. Say there's a barbershop. People walk in the barbershop, right? Everybody chilling. And then one specific person, maybe is a teenager, walks into the barbershop. And people know who this person is already, because he looks like his mother and father. And they know the history of his parents. So they know all of a sudden, when automatically is beef when you see this shorty. But if you look at shorty, he look like a chill person. He don't like he deserve any type of, foul play. He really not like his pops. He on a different wave. So now you have the barbers and people that know Shorty that's trying to wish him well, keep that evil stuff out, that care for him. And then you have the other people that don't know him and they just picking up energy. So now you have people like, oh, well, he probably fights a lot. And then you got people that know him that be like, listen, dog, I knew a kid that was just like you and they killed him and it was the coldest thing that ever happened. You see? So you got the people that know one person, that person that's functioning and wiring Shorty. That, yo, this could happen to you, but take this route. You see? Car accidents as opposed to dying in water.